Manus flat on the canvas. We are ready to rock and roll. Second round of action. There is a cut on Manus.
Yeah. Jesus.
Martial arts chat.
My man B-Hop got dropped out the ring last night. I need a little judo baby. I need me a little judo baby, and let's do it, Ron. Let's give me up.
See, you were telling me this. You've got a face for radio.
I've got a face for radio.
That's nice.
Martial arts chat.
Martial arts chat.
Hello and welcome to the Martial Arts Chat podcast. On this episode we'll be looking ahead to Cage Warriors 98, which takes place in Birmingham on Saturday. Our Scottish boys are set to do business again on the card, and we'll be getting their thoughts ahead of fight night, including Scott Boom Boom Malone, Paul McBain and Ross the Hitman Houston. Later on in the show we'll be discussing why it's been so long since we saw Cage Warriors in Scotland, with the help of Fight Talk Scotland's own Don Wilson and Headhunter's own Keir Harvey. Before we continue, firstly a shout out to our sponsors, A1 Fight Gear. A1 Fight Gear uses the latest cutting edge boxing gloves for professional and amateur fighters, gym enthusiasts and kickboxers. So local and national gyms in the UK, do yourselves a favour, go to a1fightgear.com. And if you want to get into shape, get back into shape, continue to keep trimming the fat off, go to beastgear.co.uk and use the coupon code MartialArtsChat, where you can save 15% off your purchases. They've got core sliders, straps and barbell pads, complete strength and conditioning programs, all at different levels to suit your needs, so beast your goals with beastgear.co.uk. Finally, we're also sponsored by MMA Takeover.com. For the real MMA rankings, go to MMATakeover.com or visit them on Facebook or on Twitter. And so to our fighters, first up to SBG Inverness's own, the man, the legend. God, we've had him on so many times. Can't wait for this title shot, man. It's Ross the Hitman Houston. Ross Houston. Ross, how you doing, sir?
How you doing, mate? Thanks for having me back again. Here we are again. Another fight, another win.
Another win. We've come a long way, mate. Thomas Jesson on top. That's the first time we spoke. It's Cage Warriors title time, man. I mean, some could argue that you probably should have, and we spoke about it, not you and I, but I've spoken about it in the podcast with the media, that it should have been you and Yazamini in there back in London, but I guess Paterno gets the job done, and here you are. I know usually I ask you, Ross, just to go straight into your thoughts on the fight and stuff, but sometimes it's nice just for me to reminisce or whatever. I guess it's a bit cheesy, isn't it? But the journey from when we spoke that time at On Top, you were only like 2 or 3 fights in your pro career. What's the journey like being from then all the way to Cage Warrior title time?
It's been a strange one, to be honest. You know, as soon as I turned pro, you know, when I was working offshore, and then I gave up my offshore job, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a proper crack. You know, I've been doing it for a few years, and I've always been doing it, you know, half-arsed, maybe not doing myself justice. You know? So I was kind of like, you know, this is what I enjoy. Mm-hmm. So I said I was going to give it a crack for 2 years. In my head, I said, I'll give it a crack for 2 years, you know, see how it's going, 100% commitment to it. And if it's going well, I'll carry on. If it's not, then I'll just be like, whatever, you know, because I never want to be in something to make up the numbers, and I never in my life want to be a journeyman, you know. Mm-hmm. So things started to go good, you know. I picked up my first couple of wins. Like you say, picked up a national title on the On Top fight in Thomas Jesson's, and it's almost been like a bit of a domino spiral effect, like a domino effect, you know, in terms of self-belief and confidence, because I always felt like when I was amateur, even in some of my boxing fights, but in amateur I lost, I maybe slipped up on a few fights against people that I knew I should be beating, really, you know. And I think it was partial, maybe I wasn't putting enough work in the gym as I do now. And the other thing was just a mental aspect of it. And I think that's probably, you know, obviously I talk about it a wee bit, but I think that's probably the best part of my game, to be honest. And I think that's what separates me from the rest of these guys. Like, I'll put in the work in the gym, but it's kind of like these with each one of these fights, my confidence is growing, my self-belief is growing. And when times actually matter, you know, when I'm underneath them big lights and it's time to perform, all the talking's done, I feel unstoppable. And, you know, I really feel now when I'm under them big lights, I'm unbeatable. And, you know, it's going to be no different. October 20th, I've come too far, and it's all everything's lined up, and it's going to be a good night. Yeah, it does feel like it's really building as something. I mean, the run that you've been on, obviously fantastic, particularly in Cage Warriors.
You made it look easy against Jones, man. I mean, post-fight, when you were handed the mic, I don't know if you were, mate, but it sounded like you were slightly pissed off you weren't in that title fight. What was going through your head at that moment? They raise your hand, you're the victor, another victim.
I was, I felt it was time. I was kind of like, I don't know if they would have gave it me anyway, but I thought, you know what, screw this. I need to tell him what's happening. That's, I don't know if they had forgot. There's 5 fights in Cage Warriors I had, and it was 3 finishes, 2 dominating victories, against Khalid, he's pretty much beat everyone in the division except for me. Jamie Richardson, Proctor, he's beat Hakan Foss, maybe he's beat Phil Wells. He's beat some good people. So I was kind of like, I should be getting that title shot. Yeah. I wanted it down in London, but you can't. You've got to take what you're given. So they gave me Jones, and I was like, all right, I've got to put a stamp on this. This is someone who has fought at a high level. Bellator, Obama fought for Obama title. And, I was like, this is my chance to prove against someone who's been at that level, as opposed to when I've fought maybe prospects before. Someone who's been at that level, and I put a stamp on it by putting him away. And like you said, it's a good first round, and I think he crumbled under that pace and the pressure and like the physical strength that I bring to the cage in the second round. And he got me with a wee little judo throw. But like I said, when I hit the mat, I'm straight back up. So I've got sweep, scrambles, whether it's back to my feet, wherever I do sweep. I won't be on my back for long. So I think as soon as I swept him, he was like, nah, I've had enough of this. And he wanted a way out. So you know what? And then I got the mic and I told him what was happening, and here I am, I guess. And I've got what I asked for.
Oh, yeah, so I suppose that's quite right. But you're quite right to highlight that, mate, because up to that point, I mean, everything you said, all your credentials for Cage Warriors, none of that shit should be going unnoticed. So,
exactly. I remember I was asking for Liu Long, who was like your number 1 UK out of the UFC. I think he was your number 1 UK welterweight. I wanted that fight. I was probably being the underdog, but it wasn't like I was ducking these fights. I've been asking for massive fights all the time. I asked for John Maguire, I asked for Liu Long, I've asked for it was Colin Fletcher at one point. I've been trying to get these big fights from day one, and obviously it's probably set some people the wrong way, but I don't really care. You kind of I'm in it for myself, I'm for my team, my friends, my family, and that, and I'll do whatever it takes to get up. So yeah, like we said, this is what I've been working for. And I'm not going to let it slip through my fingers at all.
Let's get to Paterno then. First time I set eyes on this guy was this year, when he sparked out, like we were talking about, the Gypsy Jiu-Jitsu. I love that, John Maguire. Cage Warriors very quickly stick him in a title fight, and he KOs the champ, and you can see that, I mean, he has a fair few knockouts in his record. Striking of the Italian, is that something that you're specifically prepared for, Ross?
Yeah, I'm prepared for striking. I've gone back to my old amateur boxing club for this fight. So my hands are feeling sharp and ever. I've got a lot more tricks up my sleeve now, like some Thai boxing tricks as well. Snap kick type stuff. So I'm going to be working a lot of long range stuff. Obviously, he'll know that anyway because I'm a lot taller than him. So I've hit the striking a lot. I've looked at a few of his fights. He beat John Maguire, but no disrespect for John Maguire, I think his day passed a long time ago, to be honest. So I think it'd be a similar story if you stuck me in there with him. He beat Mehrdad Janzamini. I like Mehrdad, but it's I think you can't rely on footlocks, and I think Mehrdad has got really nice footlocks when they work, but you saw when he was in Mount Bottom, your fundamental jiu-jitsu, your bad position escapes, that's you need your bread and butter stuff, and he just didn't have it in his locker. So I don't for a minute think I'm going to be in that position, but I know I'm out escape, and I'd be there for a split second should I ever get there. A normal hip escape. So he's beat these, but I can't really say anything bad against that because he's been put in with these names and he's beat these guys. So he's obviously got something about him. I think looking at his fights, he's an athletic guy. He's a fit, athletic guy. He's not big for the weight. I'll be a lot heavier than him, but I think his fitness, I've got to presume, is because he's not big for the weight. His fitness is good and his pace is going to be quite good. So I've been hitting a lot of cardio, like I said to you, with my swimming and stuff. But like I said, I think he's got a good ground and pound game on top, but he's not going to be taking me down. His striking's good, but I'm going to be too long for him. And I think he relies a lot on his athleticism, and don't get me wrong, I know that's probably one of my biggest parts of my game as well. So if he wants to go, horns and horns, athleticism, then it's going to be a bad night for him, man. Because I'll have a fair bit of weight on him, and I think that's even the Nathan Jones fight. I feel like I'm a lot stronger than these guys, so I think that'll be a bad night in the office for him as well. So however he wants to do it, I'm set a specific game plan. I'm going to go with the flow, stay relaxed. And you know what? Like I said, I just saw the other interviews. This is me fighting back in Birmingham after like the first time in 7 years. I lived down there until 21 years old. So massive support from up here, massive support from down the West Midlands. I'm just going to enjoy the night, to be honest, John. I'm not overthinking or putting any pressure on myself in terms of it's a world title fight. I never put any pressure on myself. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to walk out. I'm walk out music on, enjoy the moment. All my mates, my fans, my family, they're watching, and I'll be like, I worked hard for this, and I feel good, and it's my time. That's what's going to happen.
No, good for you, man. And speaking of the fans, we've just seen another successful Cage Warrior, Wales. There's a big following, and the promotion does well in Liverpool. Here we see you in Birmingham, like you mentioned, the place close to your heart. But beside obviously being part Birmingham, Scotland's obviously what we're all about, Martial Arts Chat podcast, and we champion for you guys, man. And the guys on this card, like Paul McBain, who's also got Bim Bim Malone. Fighting in Scotland, though, it doesn't seem to be anything that's on the horizon for them. Well, not returning in any near-time future, but I do hope it happens. We keep nudging them and reminding them. Fighting in Scotland, though, in a Cage Warrior setup or something big, what would that mean to you, Ross, getting that kind of opportunity?
It would be amazing. I think they'd see, obviously, the poster boys are, our mates with Jack Shaw. Obviously, he's a poster boy because he gets his shows in Wales, and I think Paddy Pimblett gets to Liverpool. So I think it wouldn't be any different if they give us a show in Glasgow or the Central Belt. Then I'll be shifting a hell of a lot of tickets. Sean McBain, Malone, and the other Scots who they bring on the card would do the same. And I think it's just once we get that chance. But you know what? If we've got McBain fighting for the title, me fighting for the title, Malone, he's going to be up there soon, and you've got some massive names up there as well. Aidan Stephen, Chris Duncan.
Yeah.
Obviously, the higher level boys are beasts. You've got Bungard doing it. Obviously, a lot of these top guys are signed to promotions already, but there's a few guys that they could bring to the Cage Warriors roster as well who would do some damage and like give the top dogs a run for their money. So I think once we get that chance, they'll see that it's not going to be wasted. I think it's a lot bigger than it was when he last came a few years ago. We've got a lot more hungry, talented fighters now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's up, but I'm going to win this title, and who knows what happens after that. Obviously, it would be good. I would like to fight in Scotland, but my main goal is the UFC. So we'll see what happens. Yeah,
my next question was going to be, you're always mentioning that future stars or the guys next in line UFC kind of conversation. Do you feel like you obviously that's something you're relishing, but added pressure? Does that bring any added pressure in your life, Ross?
Say again, sorry, what did you mean?
At any time it's brought up, guys to watch out for in the future or possible people the UFC could sign, you're always in that conversation, you're always quoted, you're always somewhere in there. I've seen it so many times from this country, and that was just my question, is that something you relish, or does it feel like added pressure?
Oh, I can't wait for it. It'd probably be the best day of my life once I get signed to the UFC, because I'm sitting next to my dad now. This is all I do. I've been doing for the past 8 years. Morning, noon, night. Watching UFC for years. So I'd be absolutely ecstatic getting signed to the UFC, and I think it's going to happen at some point. I'm just going to get on with things and just take care of what's put in front of me until then. But I wouldn't feel any pressure. I'll just, if you got signed to UFC, I'll just be another name in the UFC. No pressure on me at all. Just go in there, have some fun, and just perform. To be honest, so bring it on, man. I've got a good feeling about the future. So we'll see what happens. Good
for you, mate. Ross, always a pleasure to get your time in the show, sir. Before I let you go, as always, I just want to give you the floor here. Let you announce or shout out any sponsors, associates, affiliates. Ross, it's all yours, mate. Let them know.
Right, cheers, John. Just as usual, thanks to all my training partners, my friends, my family, my missus, everyone who supports me, everyone who's wanting me to do well, and just makes my life easier, really. Also, a big shout out to my best mate Cam Cheng. I'm sure this won't get released for a wee while, but he's just had his baby daughter today. So
congratulations, Cam.
That's his daughter Robin. She's just been born, so I'm sure that'll pop up on Facebook pretty soon, man. So delighted for him. Healthy baby, couldn't happen to anyone nicer. So chuffed for him.
It's amazing, man. Ross Houston, best of luck as always. Look forward to seeing that strap around your waist, sir. Good luck at Cage Warriors, my friend.
Cheers, thank you. Catch you in a bit.
An absolute pleasure, man. I can't wait for that fight. So excited, and best of luck. Hope the Hitman gets the job done. Next up is another one who's been on the show so many times, man, and we love following his journey. It's Scott Boom Boom, rejoined at this time by Boom Boom himself, Scott Malone. Scott, how you doing, mate?
Perfect, mate. Thank you very much. How are you?
Saying just prior to the show, my knee's hanging off. I can't do jits for a couple of months, but I'll get by, mate. I'm just going to try and not get fat, and just lay off the pies and watch some YouTube videos. That'll be me. But I mean, first off for you, mate, absolutely gutted for you last time we spoke, man. I know it's happened so many times. And any time I speak to you, mate, you're always so calm about it. It's almost like, I don't know if it frustrates you, but does it? I mean, does it faze you? Because it doesn't sound like it.
It's got to the point where I'm so used to it now.
Aye, that sucks.
You know what I mean? Like two in that last fight camp. Two. I got out there, obviously, when you interviewed me the last time. I got out there and one had pulled out, and then I got another guy. And then he pulled out as well on the Wednesday, which was fucking shit. I was sitting in the sauna, literally sitting in the sauna, and I still didn't know if I was going to get a replacement, so I kept on like fucking obviously sweating out in the sauna on the Wednesday, right through to like, was it Thursday morning or something?
Aye.
Really late Thursday night. And it was like, fucking hell, I just want to know if there's just going to be a replacement, because it was just that not knowing, you know what I mean? So I was just dying to eat fucking cake.
Yeah, I hear you. Totally hear you, man. I mean, what a scunner. Not like you said, man, not once but twice. But I mean, that's exactly it, man. What can you do? You just numb to it, I guess. At this point, there's nothing really.
See, the only thing that annoys me about it as well is like, obviously, I've got people that want to come up and fights. People that stay up in Scotland. There's never fucking Cage Warriors in Scotland. Right, so people have went and booked flights to go down to London. For the last one, they'd booked hotels. Yeah. I mean, and then everything falls through, and it looks bad on me, because they're like, "How the fuck what's the guy putting it for?" I'm like, I don't know. Generally, don't know why. So it's like fucking everybody waits till the last minute now to go to my fights. I was taking 49 people or something to like Art of Combats and stuff. See, like things in Scotland, like fucking 50 to 100 people.
Yeah.
So it was big numbers. Now it's down to like 6 that's willing to travel, willing to pick up before anything else, which is pretty shit. That's the only shit thing about fucking. Other than that, I'm sort of used to it.
I suppose, mate, that's all you can do. And Cage Warrior Scotland, man, I know we've spoken about this, and I'm a champion for it all the time.
Yeah,
they don't seem to be. They're not even biting to any. I mean, I always tag your man at Cage Warriors. I always kind of tag the company in it as well. I hit them up with my wee 2 cents, my wee retweets, and obviously you're a guy who wants to see that happen as well. We've got plenty of Scottish talent on the card. Do you ever see it happening at any time in the near future? We want to see it. Do you think it will happen, mate?
I don't know. It's just like look what happens. Look at Wales. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Wales on the weekend looked absolutely banging. Like probably one of the best supports I've seen.
Yeah, Jack Shaw.
On Cage Warrior. You know what I mean? That's what I'd like to see in Scotland, and I think especially with me, Paul, and Ross. Like say Ross was defending a title or something there. You know what I mean? Imagine how packed it would be. I think it would be great. Just fucking, it's just like they're not going to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. There just doesn't seem to be any kind of, not even teasing it, like not even entertaining the idea. Fingers crossed it does happen, but I mean at this stage it seems to be they're no biting, and we've got, like we said, we've got you guys on this card anyway. This is what we're about on this podcast, particularly the Scottish talent. And let's get to Adam. I mean, he looks promising. It has to be said. He's made the jump this year to pro. 2-0, I think, both finishes. How do you rate? Is he 3-0 now? 3-0, man. And He's got a lot of threats. You obviously know of him. You checked him out.
Yeah.
How do you rate the Englishman?
To be honest, with it being like fucking cheeky and big headed, like I was kind of upset. No upset, but just annoyed that they offered me him to fight in the first place. I just felt with the last pull out, I would have got one of the bigger names that are at the top. I know this guy is an up and coming guy and he's very good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I was expecting like one of these top guys that was fucking in the contenders. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's who I was wanting to fight. But then I got offered Adam. He's a very good fighter. Obviously, I've done a wee bit of homework on him and stuff. He was fucking Dean Hammersinger's brother.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he is really good, and I don't doubt that he'll probably go far in the business. But I'm going to make a statement. Well, I'm like definitely going to just make a statement with this fight. I feel like I need to prove myself for this fight. You know what I mean? To get up there.
Sounds like it's fired you up more than probably a normal matchup has. You felt insulted for real, with this matchup?
No, not insulted, but just like I felt like, I don't know, I felt like I was looking higher up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This fight, for me, and this is before I even knew who he was, to be fair, I was like, who the fuck's this guy? Like, really, you know, I mean, like 3-0. I was expecting somebody with a record, like obviously the last guy's record that was like 8-3.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's had a good couple of fights, and I was like looking for a way to sort of boost myself up there.
Mm-hmm.
But you take each fight as it comes, fucking. If it comes,
I was just about to say, yeah, well, this is it as well. You're wanting the fight more than anything else, I suppose. And I know you're probably quite right, mate. And what we're training for you, Scott. We've seen your trips to Alpha Male, but I don't imagine that's been the rounds this time. You're a guy that's up in the country. How have you been getting the rounds in? How have you been preparing for this one?
I've been through Scottish Hit Squad. I've been up to SBG to train with Ross. I never got any sparring with Ross because he's far too big.
Too big guy. That's it.
But I did get some rounds in with like Aidan Stephen, and it's great rounds. You know what I mean? I really like Aidan's style. He's sort of similar to Adam's style, the way he bounces in and out and stuff. So it was good to get rounds in with him.
Awesome, mate. And you'll be down Scottish Hit Squad, obviously, on Nick of the Woods as well. Yeah, we see you a lot on your travels, man. Is that just do you find? Because, a lot of guys just, stay in their, not a lot of guys, but, some guys will just stay in their circles and whatever else. You bounce around, I'll see all over the place. Have you made a point of, I want to be training here, there and everywhere, or has it just sort of happened that way?
To be honest, I'm just trying to make myself better, get the best at everything. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to fight all these Scottish guys, so I don't know why I shouldn't be training with them. I mean, I've done it with judo. I travel all over the place with judo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why I shouldn't be like traveling with MMA as well.
No,
I like training with different people. I like getting different. Like when I'll spar at my own club, I'll be sparring the same guys, and they're used to me, maybe taking them down or whatever, and they'll never shoot on me. Because they know, like,
they know what's going to happen,
But when I go other places, like, they shoot on me, and I'm like, fucking hell, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's good to get just, like, different bodies and the different... Because they don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. And it's good to get unexpectedness.
That's it, man. Keeps you sharp, for sure. Off topic slightly, spying some pictures of you on social media, mate. You're looking dapper, looking sharp. What's the story?
Thank you very much. So that was for the Scottish Wedding Directory. For the fashion show. I've done a wee fashion show. Darren Clark was actually there as well.
Right,
and Stevie Clark. So we got asked to do it from Caroline White. She does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Darren, and she actually runs the whole like magazine and thing. So she just messaged me. That was actually when I was in California. She messaged me. So I went there and done like a catwalk fashion show. I was actually shitting myself at the start.
Right.
But then as the night went on, I had a few beers and I seemed to relax and get the hang of it. That's
good. Something you want to do again, Jake? You fancy that or what?
Maybe. if the money's right.
That's it, mate. If it pays, baby, that's it. Good stuff, mate. Scottish fighters, like we said, and Cage Warriors, it's a hot topic at the moment, especially with this card, man. You know, we've mentioned yourself, Paul, Ross. We're always hopeful the promotion makes its return in Scotland. We spoke about it. But, I mean, hypothetically, let's just say it does happen. Fighting in your home country, further down the line, let's say it happens maybe next year or whatever, what would all that mean to you, Scott?
That would mean the world. It'd be all the people that have ever said, "Oh, how you not got a fight in Scotland? I'd come to see you."
Yeah.
That actually need to go, because if they didn't go, I'd fucking pull every single one of them up.
That's
you know what I mean? Because it's always like, "Oh, your fights are too far away. I can't go with this. I can't go here." But fucking, if it was in Scotland, I'd need to make the trip. Like, no matter where.
No excuses, exactly, mate.
Yeah, no excuses whatsoever.
That's it, mate. Well, I hope that day comes through for you. Scott, before I let you go, I just want to give you the chance to shout out any sponsors or associates, anyone you like, mate. The floor is yours, pal.
Okay, right, I probably should have wrote these down again. Never did. Right, so the sponsors, first off, would be like Skyline Scaffold. That's one of my sponsors. It's actually my brother as well, but I work for that company. He helps me. Gives me days off and stuff when I need to go and fight and all the rest of the carry on.
That's good.
Who else have we got? We've got Forzate, which is another construction thing. We have CBD Brothers for the CBD. We have got Python Fight Gear, which does all my gloves, does my fight shorts, everything. He's probably one of the best ones, to be fair, helping us out with stuff. Who else have we got off the top of the head? I cannot remember. I'm sorry if I forgot you, but I will. When I post this, I'll put every single sponsor.
You get so many, mate. All these people that love you. That's it, pal.
Oh, Hellcat Graphics.
Oh, I can't forget Hellcat. Actually, they're going to sell me with some t-shirts. So
sorry, Liam.
That's it, mate. Scott, boom Malone. Always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing the cage as always, mate. Fingers crossed, everything goes well. Don't blame me. I'm not the jinx, pal. But best of luck. Come Cage Warriors. Hope you get the job done. But
cheers, bud.
Hello and welcome to Martial Arts Chat Podcast, continuing the coverage and build for Cage Warriors 98 takes place in Birmingham Saturday. We've spoken with the fighters, now it's time to get the thoughts here on the round table. Joining me this evening from Fight Talk Scotland, the man, the legend, Mr. Don Wilson. Don, how are you, sir?
Well, I'm good today. How are you?
Hanging in there, mate. Actually, I've got a knee that's hanging off. I just get told I've got a torn meniscus, so I'm hobbling about in my house.
I've managed to avoid knee injuries through my mat career, surprisingly. I don't know how.
You need to tell me your secret, mate. I need some of that magic. But aye, we're getting there. Strong painkillers will see us through. Also joining us on the round table, the Hunger, Headhunter's own, Keir Harvey. Keir, how you doing, sir?
Magic. I actually got a wee knee injury myself, at the minute, so we have that in common at least.
We're two brothers in arms with dodgy knees, is that how it goes?
Aye, I know.
By the way, is the Hunger just something that I keep throwing out, or is it caught on yet?
I don't know. I guess it's caught on. Everyone likes it.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this get announced. Guys, back in July, we had our Scottish boys set to the business of Cage Warriors. For Scott Malone, it was the same old story. I mean, this guy just has horrendous luck. Opponents pulling out. And it happened that time in July, twice actually. But we did get to see a very dominant win for Ross Houston, and we saw a fantastic performance by the locomotive Paul McBain. So here we have our three Scottish fighters set to do it again. Guys, let's start with Paul McBain on this one, because I mean he's destined for a title shot as far as I'm concerned, but he has this sort of, I guess it's like a tournament, featherweight tournament they're doing. He's got a semi-final opponent here in Aidan Lee. Aidan Lee, despite being a young guy, I guess you could say he's a Cage Warriors veteran. He's had plenty of fights at Cage Warriors, but I mean I imagine he'll get the job done. Let's hear from the panel. We'll start with Don Wilson on this one. Don, Paul McBain, I've said he's destined for the title. Do you think he gets the job done here against Lee?
Yeah, this tournament thing's kind of weird. I totally forgot it was a tournament, because I was expecting, obviously we'll talk about Cage Wars and come back to Scotland later on, but I was expecting the Scottish boys could be lining up for titles. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we've got this tournament. I'm like, it's going to be a really good fight. I'm like, Aidan Lee's got crisp kickboxing, and when I was going over some tape, I'm thinking, McBain will probably want to take this to the ground, but then you look further down, he's kind of wins, and you realise he's got some good sub wins, like heel hooks and stuff like that. And so I was like, he's actually a bit more complete fighter than I thought he was. But I think I see McBain having a good go on his feet. If Lee seems to be getting any kind of advantage, I think McBain will try and get this one to the ground. Lee is he's an energetic fighter. He moves all around the cage, and if you can slow him down and kind of get him out that comfort zone of the kind of jumping in and out, then you can derail his game plan quite a bit. I think that's got to be a tough fight, I think, for Paul. It's usually I'm like a clear-cut winner here, but I'm on the fence either side. Maybe it's because I've been watched enough tape, but I'm gonna. I think it's be a good fight, tough fight for both fighters though.
Fair play, mate. Keir, what about you? How do you rate McBain, and how do you think he'll fare against Aidan Lee?
Obviously, like, what was McBain? He was undefeated amateur too, so
yeah,
like, guy's never been beat, and he seems to just kind of like Ross Houston as well. Anytime he gets the kind of next like level of opponent, he just seems to smash it, and so I think I see him doing this with Aidan. The two of them seem like it's like no one's really got an edge in any kind of area. So I think it will be a good back and forth fight. I think they will hit the mat and they'll be striking everything, but I think Paul's just going to be slightly better in every area, and I think he'll probably take a decision. I think that Aidan Lee's tough. He'll be finished. He'll be tough to finish, but I think Paul will do enough to win a decision. Maybe like a 29-28.
A close fight. Nah, you could be right. Yeah. Take the W all the same, though, for sure, man. Next up, Scott Malone. Boom Boom, as we said, gets a tough time. He just gets pull out after pull out. I mean, I'm beginning to wonder if I'm the jinx. Every time I see him, man, it's like, good luck, I'll see you, and then it's just ends up.
When I was doing my write-up for this, I'm thinking, should we even be talking about this fight? Should we just leave it, just like pretend it's not happening? I think that's a problem. Like, I think he should just like take a fight and not tell anybody. And just come up at the weigh-ins, like fighting by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's the MMA gods. I mean, I touch wood or whatever. Right, fingers crossed. I mean, I'm sure nothing will go wrong, but he takes on Adam Amasingi. Tough kid, man. Undefeated as an amateur. I think he made the jump either this year or last year, but he's 3-0. But the experience him alone, I mean, that gets the job done for me. Let's start with get a panel starts. We'll start with Keir this time. Keir, how do you see this one going down with Scott Boom Boom Malone?
I remember I was speaking to Ollie when and he was telling me that Scott Malone kind of got offered this fight, and he didn't really want it because he was a kind of lesser experienced guy, but looking at him, like, this guy does seem really, really good. Like, he won the IMAFs, so he's a really experienced amateur, and he seems to be a slick striker, but he is moving up from flyweight as well. I've seen that, but it's hard to imagine anyone stopping Scott's takedowns. I mean, the guy just takes everyone down and is able to hold them down, and I think he does that here too. I think Scott will come out, just get the takedowns, and he will just control it. I'd like to see Scott get a finish. Like, his last fight there, it's like he didn't even want the finish, so I think if he can go out and pull off a finish here, that'll be a big statement from him. But
yeah.
So either kind of late ground the pound stoppage, I think, for Scott, or maybe just a decision, but I think his grappling will serve him well in this fight.
Does Scott make it down your way at all? When he bounces around
they've talked about him coming down a couple of times to get some sparring in with like me and Mark or whatever, but he's not made it down yet. I'm sure he will at some point, especially when Ollie comes down to see us.
Yeah, for sure. And you're right, man, with that judo, it's just it goes such a long way, man.
His top pressures, there's no one really I've seen at that weight class with that kind of top pressure. He just gets on top of people and just controls them at will almost.
Yeah, makes it his fight for sure. Don, what about you? What's your thoughts on this bantamweight contest?
Talking about Scott, you look at his record, like you load up, say, one of the kind of website list fights, and you're like, oh, this guy's got a big pro record, then you realise it's fucking mostly cancellations.
Yeah.
It's like a long list, and then you realise it's only, he's 4 wins, 1 loss, and it's like, well, it's quite crazy, but yeah, that always pops up when you're talking about Scott. But I'm a singer, like, I saw he was like 3-0, and I looked at some of his tape, and I was like, he's quite an aggressive, energetic fighter, but he's almost a little careless, and I thought maybe he's not had like that big of a, maybe he's just kind of jumped into the pro quite quickly, but he's had a big like amateur career. Like, he's 3 wins as a professional, but he's on like a 12 fight streak.
It was over 10. That sounds about right.
So like, he's been in there and had the fights, but when you do watch him, he does seem kind of he is like quite careless. He does rush in. And I think I'm looking forward to seeing Scott back in the cage. with his time in the States, and obviously you see his daily grind on social media, he jumps about, like you said. We've wanted to see how far his games came. Obviously, you can down at Team Alpha Male, I'm sure you can learn a lot down there. And, but obviously he's not fought for the beginning of the year, so I don't think it's going to be a ring rust thing. I think it's more maybe a mental thing. He's obviously been wanting to fight. He wanted to fight and get 2 cancellations this year, and he said, he's got this new skill set to show off, and he probably wants to get in there. But just hope you don't go in overconfident, maybe like, I've got all this stuff to show, and then you just end up making a stupid mistake. So I hope something like that doesn't happen. I doubt it, but it's always said, you just want to show off your new skills. Yeah. But I think Amasing, I think, is going to come in here energetically, always does. Malone can stay calm, kind of weather the storm of that, and just get in there and get him to the mat, and like Keir was saying, just hold him down. He looks like a big guy, but Amasinga, but he's like, if I don't know if they've got the height right, but he does look like a big strong guy. But I think if you can get him down, keep him on the mat, I think you nullify that energetic movement about, and I think that's where Malone's going to have the best chance here.
For sure, and kind of what you were saying as well, Keir, about what Ollie was having to say. Yeah, I spoke to Scott as well, and it's not that he was wanting to say, "Oh, this fight's beneath him," but he was looking for something that's going to level him up. And I think, and no disrespect to Adam, but I don't think a win over Adam here takes Scott Malone to a level that he's going to, but either way he's got to get the job done, and
he may be looking for a bigger name
for sure.
That's a solid performance here, and he'll get that, I think.
Yeah, especially if you said with the finish, that'll go a long way.
With a finish, finish would be massive for him.
I think his best outcome for this fight is a quick early finish. It means he takes no damage or less damage, and he's ready to go, and they can fling him back in quickly the next show or the show after. So he's like, he can try and get maybe 2 or 3 fights actually under his belt this year, instead of just one at the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year. So
especially with that title up for grabs soon.
For
definitely
sure.
wants to be in the mix. I don't know what that title to be going. He's thinking, I've just beat this guy, but nobody knows who this guy is, and I'm still two fights away over named opponents to get a title shot. So he wants to get this one in the bag quickly, I think.
Absolutely. Finally, the main event sees Hitman Houston. He gets what he deserves. Title shot against the new champ. He wants it bad. I'm a sucker for momentum. I'm also slightly biased. I've followed Ross since first time we met was back when he fought Thomas Jessing on top a few years ago. This is where it comes to a head for me. He's going to get the W here. He gets the title, and then possibly next year off to the UFC. I mean, I don't really have a doubt about that. Let's hear your thoughts. We'll start with Don this time. Don, Cage Warriors welterweight title, and new or unstill?
Yeah, I think he's this belt's staying with Houston. I think Stefano seems like Stefano won the belt, didn't he, the last fight?
Yeah, it was great.
That's what he did.
He was the underdog as well, I believe.
Yeah, I know. I think Ross is taking us. Stefano seems like a big, solid guy. He's got some big, strong strikes, and his ground control's all right. But I think it's sluggish. No, I don't want to say sluggish. He seems more like a power puncher. I see Stefano trying his luck on his feet for a bit, but I think the movement of Ross and the speed will be too much for Stefano. I think he'll probably want to try and drag this to the mat, but I think that might even be worse for Stefano if he gets this to the mat. I think Stefano is clearly on a good streak, but I feel as if Houston might just be I think I said this to the last fight, Ross Houston's fight. Like it was a good opponent for him. I think Houston was just a step above, and I think this is exactly the same kind of case. I think Stefano's got a good kind of punches and stuff like that, but I think Houston's just that step above again for this guy. So I think Houston's taking this title home. I think it's probably going to be. What do you consider?
I was going to say, like, kind of just on the back of what you're saying, Paterno seems to me like one of those athletic guys, but a wee bit less technique. And you could argue, beginning of Houston's career, it was more athleticism than technique. I mean, it's a different kettle of fish now, but that's kind of how I would.
Stefano, it seems like he's got a really good heart as well, but like I was watching one of his fights in YouTube there, and he had a bit of blood on his shorts, and I'm like, and this was at the beginning of the fight, I'm like, this must have been a tournament. So obviously, if that was the case, he was in there obviously fighting more than in one night, and he seems to have a good heart, and he was getting smashed, I think, for like a round and most of the second one, and then he come back and he got it through, and ended up being a draw. But it was, I think he's got a good heart. I don't think Houston will finish him. It seems as if he'll stay in there for even if no matter how much damage it takes, he'll stay in there for that fight. he'll always be trying to kind of get it. But I just think Houston's speed and skill should probably carry him through to the title here.
For sure. Finally, Keir, your thoughts when Houston gets his hands on Paterno?
It's definitely Ross's toughest opponent. And I think a lot of people are maybe kind of underlooking Paterno. Like, you see, like, they're kind of pushing. Cage Warriors are really pushing Ross Houston, getting a lot of promotion and stuff. But like, Paterno's fought and beat a lot better guys than Ross. I don't think a lot, and he's just a young guy too, a few years younger than Ross. So it is a lot closer than I think people are thinking. But like, similar to Paul, I think Ross just seems to be on this unstoppable kind of trajectory at the minute. As his opponents are getting tougher, his performances are getting better, and he's a lot bigger. See Ross Houston in person and whatnot, he's a big guy. He's massive, and I think that'll play a big factor in it when they are grappling or against the cage. And I think Ross does get the finish here. I think it'll be close, and I think Paterno will maybe start to feel that size and the pressure, and I think Ross will get a late stoppage, maybe the 4th or the 5th round.
Because Paterno looks
that could see it. I
don't think his height.
Nah, he is. I don't know. Well, Ross Houston was saying he was smaller. He doesn't really like cutting weight. Right. They were saying so. Whereas Ross, he's big. Like, he goes into his fight week big, so he'll be in the cage big. So I think that'll be a big factor, and I think that'll lead to a later stoppage for him.
There was a picture that he put up, I think it was on his Facebook, standing alongside Dan Hardy, and it was like, can you believe that, when Hardy fought, he was a welterweight, and then you get Ross just towering over him, man. Yeah, he's so...
You see him beside Chris Duncan? Chris Duncan's not a small guy, exactly. And he was way bigger.
So I mean, massive for the weight, and it's advantage that you've got to exploit for sure, isn't it? Guys, last bit of business, Cage Warriors in Scotland. Now, Donna, I know you were there the last time it was there. We were speaking just prior to the show. Was it 2012, was it? Sorry, did you say? 2013?
13, I think.
2013. I'll put it to both you gents. Cage Warriors has a big following in Liverpool because of Paddy Pimblett and all that crew. Big following in London. They tap into the Irish market. Does really well in Wales, to be fair. My question is, guys, why not us? They've announced a whole bunch of dates, venues for the future. Scotland misses it again. How come?
It's weird. We were talking the last time about when we're going to come back, and we thought, well, that's the Scottish guys all won last time. Scott didn't get to fight, and like they've got a really good talent pool of Scottish fighters there. Some of them set up, obviously Houston's got his title shot, but when we were talking back then, it's like you could make an argument for like the main ones to get title shots, and we thought that'd be a great card to bring to Scotland. Maybe a bit too much to have, say, 3 title fights on a card, but. When are the dates up to? Is it just this year, or is it actually just
it run through to next year? They've announced just up to March.
Yeah, because like if Ross, sometimes you see people go, that they've got stuff set up. If such and such wins a title, then you can see them bringing a card to that country for the title. I can see if Ross wins this, it's you've got probably Ross main eventing easily, defending his title. And then you can have I don't know if they'll put more than one title fight on the card, but they've definitely got a talent pool of Scottish people. I thought they would have had wins lined up by now, but if Ross wins that title, there's no I think maybe the only thing is the venue. Glasgow's got good venues, but they also been quite big, so it's trying to find somewhere it's a good balance where it's actually a good venue, but it's not too big. I've been to Braehead used to do the odd MMA show, but it's still quite a big venue. So I don't know.
How big is Braehead? How many did you get in there?
I'm not actually sure, but because it's an ice hockey place, it's set up like an ice hockey. It's got the kind of, it's all the stands around the side, so that it does hold a good amount of people. But I don't even know. Like, you've got the SEC, like Hydro maybe too big. We were talking off there, but with Keir, he thinks if you could kind of like taper off the top tier, you could probably be good. But this place still looks huge. I don't know if they could maybe I think maybe they can do a cut where they can cut off half the venue or something like that. They can maybe do something like that. But the SEC is good at bringing in their arenas to make things smaller. But you don't usually, you see it for concerts. You don't really see it for any sort of sporting events. So I don't know. There's probably some venue in Glasgow that I don't know about that's probably perfect for it, and I just don't know about it. But
I don't think the venue's the issue. I think if they're going to come up, and to be honest with you, I think next year probably will be there. They will. Because they seem to always be keeping the 3 Scottish guys together.
Yeah, that's true.
And it seems like they want to build them up at the same time. So I think if you've got one or two champions with Ross and Paul, and neither of them, or hopefully the two of them, don't just go right to the UFC, so that we could get a shot. But I think that'd be perfect. There's plenty of young kind of amateurs that would be pro around about that time, or the pro guys. There is like Chris Duncan, Stevie McIntosh. There's plenty of guys that could be on an undercard. So
Yeah.
I think the time to do it is kind of mid next year, maybe.
Like it's,
So hopefully they do.
It is setting up. It's like you look at all the facts. Like the fighters have got, the fighters like are currently fighting and stuff like that. It lines up perfectly for a Scottish show. I think maybe just the way certain fights have kind of came later on in the year and they've already made their dates. I think maybe we look at it and go, why is there no Scottish date? But they're maybe just waiting for certain things to happen so they can organise something, as you say, for the middle of next year.
They're pushing the Scottish guys, and I don't think they're not. That's not a coincidence. I think they surely are thinking they're aiming to do a show up here next year.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, I think it'll be coming next year.
Anytime I see, though, I mean, maybe this is just part of the pessimist anyway, anytime I see when there is a show announced or anything on social media, myself or others, well, I see it mentioned, what about Scotland? What about Scotland's that coming?
Yeah.
And they never bite. Whereas if someone says, oh, I can't wait till, you come back to Wales for Jack's show or whatever, like they're immediately messaging or, posting that up or highlighting that. And I don't know, you're probably, you make a great point, Kate, about them keeping the fighters together. I mean, that totally makes sense for, we'll do the same again and this time make it a Scotland show. So
Paul and Ross and they're all going to be saying to them behind the scenes.
It's true.
To get a show up here.
Yeah,
And they obviously know what it's like when the UFC came here, what the crowd and stuff was. They know like the fans will turn out for Scottish fighters.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you've got UFC fans and MMA fans. But I still think
they should at least trial it. Like,
Yeah.
if they come and it doesn't do so well, then fuck it, we tried. But I could see it doing well.
You could stick a Keir Harvey on that card as well.
Aye, too right.
There you go. There you have it, guys. Cage Warriors 98 Saturday in Birmingham. Best of luck to all our Scottish boys, and just a thanks to our panel here today, starting with Mr. Don Wilson, Fight Talk Scotland. Don, let our people know all about Fight Talk Scotland and the wonderful stuff you do online, my friend.
Fight Talk Scotland, most places on social media, try to cover as much local scene and the international scene as possible, so you can check us out there.
Pleasure, my friend, and also extend my thanks to the Hunger Keir Harvey. Keir, you've got a fight coming up at the end of the year. Let our people know.
December 8th, Evolution of Combat. So that's what I'll be out next.
Come check out, guys. Always a pleasure, gentlemen. We'll catch you next time on the round table.
Cheers.
Change your heart.